Thomas Buchanan McGuire Jr. was born on December 25, 1920, in Ridgewood, New Jersey, into a world that demanded ambition and resilience. From a young age, he showed a restless energy, a determination that pushed him beyond the ordinary. As a boy, he was fascinated by machines and speed, spending hours dismantling bicycles and tinkering with motors, learning through trial and error. That curiosity would later become a foundation for a life spent in the cockpit of some of the fastest planes the world had ever seen. School was not always easy for McGuire. He struggled with authority, often testing rules and challenging the status quo. But it was this relentless drive that caught the attention of teachers and peers alike. He was bold, competitive, and never one to shy away from a challenge, qualities that would define him as a pilot. In 1939, McGuire enrolled at Rutgers University, studying mechanical engineering, but the call of the skies proved too strong to resist. Inspired by the stories of early aviators and the growing threat of global conflict, he joined the Army Air Corps in 1941. Flight school was grueling, testing both body and mind, but McGuire excelled. Instructors noted his sharp reflexes, intuitive understanding of aircraft mechanics, and a fearless approach to risk, traits that separated him from the average cadet. By the time he graduated, McGuire had earned his pilot wings and was commissioned as a second lieutenant. He was ready to leave the familiar streets of New Jersey for the vast, unpredictable expanse of the Pacific Theater. But even as he boarded the transport planes bound for distant islands, McGuire carried with him the lessons of his youth: curiosity, determination, and a belief that skill and courage could overcome almost any obstacle. This was the beginning of a journey that would see him become one of America's deadliest aces, a pilot whose name would be etched in history, not for luck, but for unmatched skill, daring, and relentless focus. By mid-1943, Thomas McGuire was on his way across the Pacific, leaving the familiarity of America behind for the raw, unpredictable expanse of war. The Pacific Theater was unlike anything he had imagined. Vast ocean stretches, scattered islands, and the constant hum of danger. Every landing strip seemed temporary, every mission a gamble, and every day brought the possibility of life or death. McGuire was assigned to the 475th Fighter Group, flying P-38 Lightning fighters, twin-engined aircraft that were fast, powerful, and demanding of respect. The P-38 was perfect for his sharp reflexes and aggressive flying style, but it offered little margin for error. Every takeoff, every maneuver required focus, precision, and nerves of steel. His first combat missions were tense introductions to the brutal reality of aerial warfare. Enemy aircraft were not just distant silhouettes, they were fast, deadly, and unrelenting. McGuire quickly learned the importance of patience, positioning, and timing. Every encounter tested his instincts: how to approach, when to fire, and when to pull away. Early on, he suffered the same anxiety and fear that every rookie pilot faced, but he had a mind that processed information faster than most, reading enemy movements and patterns with an almost uncanny intuition. In these first sorties, McGuire experienced the adrenaline, the terror, and the exhilaration that would define his career. He saw comrades fall, witnessed destruction from above, and felt the weight of responsibility pressing down. Yet through each dogfight, his confidence grew, his aim sharpened, his reactions became instinctive, and his reputation among his squadron slowly began to build. By the end of his first few weeks, McGuire had claimed his first confirmed kills, small but significant victories that hinted at the deadly skill he would soon display. He was no longer just a young pilot from New Jersey. He was becoming a force to be reckoned with in the skies of the Pacific. By late 1943, Thomas McGuire had fully adapted to the ruthless rhythm of the Pacific War. Each mission brought new dangers, enemy fighters, unpredictable weather, and the ever-present threat of anti-aircraft fire. Yet McGuire thrived under pressure. He had a gift for reading the skies, anticipating enemy maneuvers, and exploiting even the smallest mistakes. McGuire's first real taste of legendary status came during a mission over New Guinea. Flying at high altitude, he spotted a formation of Japanese fighters attacking a squadron of Allied bombers. Without hesitation, he dived into the fray, weaving through tracer fire and explosions. His focus was absolute: one shot, one plane at a time. In a matter of minutes, McGuire had downed 3 enemy aircraft, his precision and calm under fire astonishing his comrades. That day marked the beginning of his rise as a top ace, earning both admiration and quiet fear from friend and foe alike. What set McGuire apart wasn't just skill, it was his aggressive yet calculated approach. He pushed his P-38 to the limit, exploiting its speed and twin engines to execute daring maneuvers others wouldn't dare attempt. He didn't just engage in dogfights, he dominated them, turning chaos into opportunity. His victories were not accidents. They were the result of instinct, preparation, and an unyielding will to survive. Word of McGuire's achievements spread through the ranks. Fellow pilots looked to him for guidance, while enemies came to recognize the threat he posed in the skies. Yet for McGuire, it was never about glory. Each mission was about survival, protecting his squadron, and completing the objective. Every plane he downed brought him closer to mastering the deadly ballet of air combat, one calculated engagement at a time. By now, McGuire's tally had grown steadily. He was no longer a newcomer. He was a symbol of American aerial precision and courage, and his legend in the Pacific was just beginning to take shape. By early 1944, Thomas McGuire had become more than just an ace. He was a tactical force in the sky, known for his daring maneuvers and almost uncanny ability to outthink his opponents. His P-38 Lightning wasn't just a plane. It was an extension of his mind, responding instinctively to every calculation, instinct, and split-second decision. One of his most remarkable traits was his fearless aggression balanced by calculated precision. McGuire would often dive into swarms of enemy fighters, weaving and looping through tracer fire with an almost hypnotic rhythm, picking off aircraft one by one. He understood that aerial combat wasn't about reckless bravery. It was about reading the enemy, predicting their actions, and striking at the precise moment that would guarantee success. His missions over New Guinea and the Philippines became legendary. On one occasion, during an escort mission for bombers, McGuire spotted a formation of Japanese Zeros threatening the squadron. In a maneuver that would later be studied in tactical manuals, he executed a high-speed dive from above, taking advantage of the sun's glare to surprise the enemy. Within minutes, he downed 3 more aircraft, saving the bombers and cementing his reputation as a pilot who could change the outcome of a mission single-handedly. Yet even with victories piling up, McGuire never grew careless. He meticulously studied maps, enemy patterns, and aircraft behavior, often spending hours after missions reviewing engagements with fellow pilots. He treated each dogfight as a chess match, understanding that one misstep could mean death. By now, his kill count was steadily climbing, and his squadron had come to rely on him not just for firepower, but for leadership. Thomas McGuire wasn't just surviving the war, he was mastering it. By late 1944, The war had shifted toward the Philippines, a critical battleground in the Pacific theater. Thomas McGuire's squadron was tasked with securing air superiority, protecting Allied forces, and crippling Japanese supply lines. The missions were relentless, long flights over hostile skies, often facing overwhelming numbers of enemy aircraft, anti-aircraft fire, and the ever-present threat of mechanical failure. McGuire's courage and tactical brilliance reached new heights during this period. On one intense mission over Luzon, he engaged a formation of Japanese fighters escorting bombers. Outnumbered, he relied on both instinct and experience. Diving, climbing, looping, and banking with precise timing, McGuire downed 5 enemy aircraft in a single engagement. Each kill was methodical, almost surgical, demonstrating his mastery of the P-38 and the skies above the Philippines. What made McGuire extraordinary wasn't just the numbers, it was his ability to remain calm under extreme pressure. While other pilots panicked, he analyzed the chaos around him, the speed and trajectory of enemy planes, wind currents, and the formation of his own squadron, making split-second decisions that often saved lives. Fellow pilots recall how he would return from missions with adrenaline still pumping, yet explaining each maneuver and choice with a clear, analytical mind, teaching others the art of survival in combat. Beyond the thrill of aerial victories, McGuire carried the weight of responsibility. Each mission reminded him that lives depended on his skill, his squadron, the bombers he escorted, and ultimately the success of the broader Allied campaign. By the end of these operations, his confirmed kills had surged past 30, making him not just a hero, but a symbol of precision, courage, and relentless determination. In the skies over the Philippines, Thomas McGuire wasn't just fighting planes, he was defining what it meant to be an ace, leaving an indelible mark on the history of aerial warfare. By early 1945, Thomas McGuire had become more than just a pilot. He was a leader, mentor, and symbol of courage for the 475th Fighter Group. His skill in the air was matched by his ability to inspire others on the ground and in the sky. Younger pilots looked to him for guidance, often following his lead during the most dangerous missions, trusting his judgment implicitly. McGuire's leadership style was hands-on. He didn't just issue orders, he flew alongside his men, sharing the risks and the adrenaline of combat. His calm presence in chaotic dogfights provided reassurance, and his tactical brilliance became a living lesson for every pilot in the squadron. Yet despite the recognition and respect, he remained intensely private, often reflecting quietly on the missions and the lives lost under his command. As his reputation grew, so did the accolades. McGuire received multiple decorations, including the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, and the Distinguished Flying Cross. Yet these honors never distracted him from the reality of war. Every medal carried a weight of responsibility, a reminder of comrades who would never return home, and missions where the line between life and death was razor-thin. Amid the adrenaline and heroism, McGuire faced personal challenges. The relentless pace of combat, the constant threat of death, and the emotional toll of losing friends weighed heavily. Sleep was scarce, and every mission demanded complete focus. But even under these pressures, McGuire maintained his legendary composure. He embraced the discipline and mental toughness that had carried him from a restless New Jersey boy to one of America's deadliest aces. Through leadership, recognition, and personal sacrifice, Thomas McGuire became a living testament to the courage and resilience of the human spirit, proving that true heroism was as much about guiding others as it was about personal skill in the skies. By mid-1945, Thomas McGuire had flown countless missions over the Pacific, each one a dangerous dance of speed, precision, and life-or-death decisions. He had become a living legend, known to friend and foe alike for his tactical brilliance and unmatched skill in the air. Yet, despite his fame, McGuire remained focused on the mission above all else. The war was not over, and every sortie carried enormous stakes. During a critical mission over Formosa, McGuire led a squadron tasked with intercepting Japanese aircraft threatening Allied ground operations. The skies were chaotic, tracer fire streaking past, engines roaring, and every maneuver demanding split-second decisions. McGuire flew with the same calm, calculated aggression that had defined his career, taking down enemy planes with precision. Yet this time, the danger was greater and the odds more treacherous. Tragically, during the intense dogfight, McGuire's aircraft was hit. Despite sustaining critical damage, he continued to engage, ensuring his squadron remained intact and the mission objectives were met. Witnesses later recounted how McGuire fought until the very last moment, protecting his men with unwavering courage. When he finally succumbed, it was not in retreat or fear, but in the act of fulfilling his duty to the fullest. McGuire's death was a devastating loss to the Allied forces, but his legacy had already been cemented. He had achieved 38 confirmed kills, making him the second-highest American ace of World War II, a testament not only to his skill, but to his unwavering dedication, strategic mind, and indomitable spirit. Though he would never return home, Thomas McGuire's story endured, a powerful reminder that heroism often comes with immense sacrifice, and that true courage is measured not by survival, but by the willingness to face danger head-on, time and time again. In the months following Thomas McGuire's death, his story resonated across the Pacific and back home in the United States. News of his extraordinary skill, fearless leadership, and ultimate sacrifice traveled quickly, inspiring both his fellow servicemen and a nation weary from years of relentless conflict. McGuire was more than a pilot. He had become a symbol of precision, courage, and the unyielding human spirit. Fellow pilots spoke of him with reverence, recalling the lessons they had learned from watching him in the skies. His daring maneuvers, calm composure under fire, and tactical brilliance had not only saved lives, but had set a standard for all fighter pilots. They remembered him as someone who didn't just fight for glory, but for the safety of his squadron and the success of the mission. Back home, McGuire's story was shared in newspapers, military reports, and personal letters. Families of servicemen took pride in his accomplishments, seeing in him the best of what America's youth could offer: intelligence, courage, and selflessness. His influence extended far beyond the immediate battles he fought. Young aviators studied his missions, learning the importance of strategy, discipline, and mental resilience in combat. Even decades later, military historians and aviation enthusiasts continue to celebrate McGuire's contributions. His name is etched in history, not merely for the number of enemy aircraft he downed, but for the example he set as a leader, a mentor, and a courageous individual who faced overwhelming odds without hesitation. McGuire's legacy reminds us that heroism is defined not by survival alone, but by the relentless pursuit of duty, the protection of others, and the courage to confront danger head-on. Thomas McGuire's name became legendary in the skies of the Pacific. With 38 confirmed kills, he was not just an ace, but a symbol of skill, courage, and relentless determination. Every mission he flew showcased his precision, fearlessness, and tactical brilliance. Yet McGuire's greatness went beyond numbers. He was a mentor and leader, guiding his squadron through the chaos of war, inspiring confidence and bravery in every pilot beside him. His calm under pressure saved lives, and his daring maneuvers turned impossible situations into victories. Even after his death, his story continues to inspire. McGuire's life reminds us that heroism is measured not just by success, but by courage, sacrifice, and the impact one leaves on others. The skies may have claimed him, but his spirit soars eternally, a beacon of bravery and determination, proving what it truly means to be a hero.